What is up, you guys? This is Jared and you are watching Backroad Exploration. Today's trip is going to be a little bit different. So originally I was headed up Spanish Fork Canyon. I was going to stop by and see my sister for a minute, and then we were going to go and do some off-roading. Well, while I was driving there, there's this area that I absolutely love to hike. I hiked it all the time growing up, and I called her and said, hey, do you want to go for a hike really quick? So she and I went on a hike. I'll show you a little bit of footage from that. Just beautiful. It's where I grew up. I love it there. And that ended up taking longer. We spent some time chatting and just, catching up on things. So I bypassed where we were going to be off-roading today, and I headed towards the Lake Fork area. This area gets kind of busy, and so I wanted to make sure we got a cool campsite. We found a great campsite. The boys and I are just enjoying it until Mike's crew joins us in a couple hours. So let me show you around camp and what we've been up to. You trying to have me protect you from Cole? He just wants to be your friend. I don't remember having this much of the yellow ones. So growing up, we would come up here in our four-wheelers all the time, and then as a teenager I built with my brothers and some cousins a fort here. You can see it's crashed now, but it used to be up here on these big stilts. It's kind of crazy. You can see one of them still up right there. It looks like a tree that we just basically cut a dead tree and buried the pole. And we had two different big platforms that we would, you can see it right here, this one. The two platforms, and then there was a bridge in between them. We'd climb up there and camp out at night, watch movies and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But about 10 years ago, under all the snow we get up here, it collapsed, so no longer exists. Alright, you can see my ghetto little sign right there letting Mike know that we're down here. The main road goes up that way, and this little secluded trail down here that actually leads to a really cool campsite. But I also thought it'd be good to put this here. We've had a couple people come down already looking for the campsite, and you can't really tell that anyone's in there until you get all the way back in there, and it's hard to turn around. So hopefully putting this up here will let him know where we are and prevent people from wasting their time and having to do a 10-point turn to turn around. One thing I suggest doing if you're going to be using an axe, especially if you're using it with kids, give yourselves a barrier. No one goes beyond that barrier when someone's in the axe area. So looks like the Forest Service have put up those little things to stop people from driving up right here. Those will work as a good axe barrier. No one goes beyond those, and then you're safe to chop. This thing is dull. All right, let's break off some limbs. This stuff will burn really good. It'll be a great fire starter.
Like bushes here.
Good find, you guys. Teach them how to find stuff that'll burn good. That'll help be able to get fire started. We might get a little bit of rain. It's looking pretty ominous. One. Molly. Okay. Okay, you ready? You ready? Moving so fast, she has a hard time falling. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Look, I know that you guys love the off-roading content, which I do too. But man, I can stand next to a river like this and throw the stick in for a molly, watch the boys all day. It's pretty fun. It's just nice being out. This is gonna be a little bit more relaxed trip, but just really enjoying. We have a really pretty little campsite and just enjoying time out here in the wilderness. What is up, you guys? It is Saturday morning. I had a great time last night with Mike and his crew. Today we're just gonna take things kind of slow this morning, enjoy camp, do some activities around camp, have a nice breakfast, and then pack up and hit some of the really cool trails that are up here in Lake Fork. So let's get some breakfast going. So I wanted to show you just kind of the evolution of my kitchen setup in the back of the Jeep. When I first started, I was basically using like the front fenders or this part of the Jeep, which I don't like because if food spills over, it's like out in the back of the Jeep and it makes the car stink. But I picked up this new table over here, and at first I was pretty skeptical because it was having a hard time staying up, but they said that it takes a little while for the canvas to stretch out. Since then it's been fine, and I really like it's lightweight, so I can build up our meals on it, and Wyatt and I can just pick it up and move it over to, you know, where our chairs are and stuff. Then I've got the fold down table I've talked about a couple times from 4Runner. There's a bunch of other brands that make it. I really like theirs. It's inexpensive. I think it's like 130 bucks, and has this nice little fold out table. The table doesn't, some people would use it as a cutting board. I just use it to hold a few extra bits while I'm cooking and stuff, but really, I really like the flow. I'll just put the cooler up here. Eventually I'd like to put in a small fridge back here, and I think that would really complete the kitchen setup. It's a nice easy flow going from one place to another, building stuff, and really inexpensive. We're talking about, you know, the stove, the fold down table, and the chair. Everything here is like 200 bucks if you combine it all together, so not that bad. They're never gonna hear us. One thing that sucks about being right next to a river. It's loud. Thank you. How's breakfast this morning, boys?
Tasty.
Tasty? Good. Pretty much if you put anything in between a croissant, it's good, so. Little breakfast sandwich. That thing folds up fairly compact for how huge it is.
I think it works pretty good. I really like their system for strapping it together.
You're not trying to stuff it in a tiny bag that takes hours to get it in. Well, we'll see how busy this road's gonna be. It's been a non-stop flow of traffic. I think everybody's getting out and doing their camping right now. So it's an area that's pretty close to a lot of towns and stuff, and so it does get busy, and I've been surprised by just how busy it's been. Pretty much all day yesterday and all day this morning, vehicles have been coming and going, so we'll see how it goes. The dust is just unreal. Anytime you pass another vehicle, it's just like a cloud of dust you just have to sit and wait for a while. It's crazy how much dust there is. It's absolutely crazy just seeing all these burnt trees. This is an area that I've come up my entire life and never seen anything like this with everything just burnt down. It's incredible. It's kind of sad, but it's nature's way of cleaning up, I guess. Alright, we've made it up to Smith's Reservoir up here. It's just this nice little natural valley that captures water. Perfect place to stop and have some lunch. We just wrapped up lunch up at Smith's Reservoir, and now we've got a couple more hours on the dirt, so we're going to be making our way back down the Smith's Reservoir Trail and then over across Dairy Fork Road that's going to take us out towards Highway 6. So a lot more time to spend in the beautiful mountains. This has been so much fun. It's been really cool having Mike and his boys along with us. These types of adventures, this one's been fairly slow paced. We've been making some long stops to just let the boys get out and have a good time and make sure that they're having fun and you know, not spending too much time in the seat. Mike and I tend to do that a little bit, and that can be a little bit boring for the kids. So we like to give them as many opportunities to get out and play as we can and keep a nice pace. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that whole ridge up there is all just burnt trees. It's crazy. Fire did a lot of damage. And it's caused a lot of flooding too, because when it rains, you just get, there's no vegetation to hold the ground in, and so a bunch of stuff's got ripped out and stuff like that. Roads got washed out multiple times. But they've done a lot of work up here to make it real nice. They've widened out the road in a couple of places and graded it and put in the work to make it so we can get back up here. Check out this sweet Toyota. This thing's a beast. Got one more. It's amazing to me just how much a little bit of water can make a big difference. Mike and I did this trail 2 years ago, and it was so mucky. We were sliding everywhere, and you know, right now it's this, you know, pretty well graded dirt road, and we're just cruising right along. It's just a little bit of water can turn something into a totally different adventure. But this part of the you know, this area, it's a little underappreciated in my opinion. It's really beautiful, and it doesn't get nearly the same amount of traffic that like the Lake Fork area does. In fact, we've only seen one other vehicle on this section here headed out towards Highway 6, but really beautiful. You're driving right along the ridge. There's a section where you can actually see out over the mountains because the trees are burned down. You can actually see Utah Lake, which I've driven this tons of times and never remember being able to see the lake. So just a beautiful way, it's just a beautiful place and a nice way to spend a weekend in the mountains. Just finished up the loop through Lake Fork. This has been so much fun. It's been a couple of years since Mike and I have been up on an adventure here because it's all been closed down due to the fire. It's amazing to me how much it's changed due to the fire. You can see over peaks that you could never see before, and it's sad, but it's also really beautiful to see, you know, kind of nature just reclaiming itself and rejuvenating itself. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video, jump down in the comments and tell us what you liked. Also, if you want to follow us on the day-to-day, check us out on Instagram at Backroad Exploration. Thanks for watching.